Today I wanted to share with you guys this pistol trigger set that we received for our action camera. It does show that it's suitable for the GoPro and similar mounting systems. Pretty much every action camera has the same mounting system, so it should work with any action camera you have. Now, I did receive this at a discount from the company that sells this on Amazon. So later on I'm going to post the link probably in the comment section to where you can purchase this on Amazon if you're interested. This is a 2-in-1. It is a pistol trigger set, but it's also a floating handle. We have several pieces of equipment for our action camera. We have pistol grips, but they don't float, and we have floating grips, but they're not pistol grips. So this one here is a 2-in-1. It does come in a nice box. You can see on the back it shows somebody using it. It shows some different information here about it. It shows how the pole extension is 12 inches. It's got a swivel head, the section hinges, etc. So when you get this in, it is not put together. You do have to put the handle onto the pistol grip part. So you just go ahead and screw this on here. And then if you look in here, you can see the little notches. You see the notches? That is where your camera is going to sit. So you put your camera on, facing outwards, obviously, into these little notches. It's kind of hard to get them in at first, honestly, because they don't, I know mine fits in here, but it is a little bit, mine's a little bit thicker than what they're showing on here, so it takes me a minute to get this in here. It is kind of awkward, honestly, to put this in here. Let me see why I'm not getting my camera to go in here. That's the only thing I don't like about it, is it does fit tight, and like I said, it's awkward to get the camera in at first until you're used to it. Okay, so we got the camera in there. That took a minute. We got it in there, but as you can see, this little notch here sits on the top of the camera, right on the button. So we make sure the camera is turned on. And oops, I just turned my camera off. Let me turn my camera back on. I pushed the button too long. So as you can see, you can barely see it. My camera's coming on. You can barely see my camera's coming on there. That's the only bad thing, is this does cover up all of your camera. But how this works is when you pull this trigger, it pushes down the button on your camera. So you can do your video, or you can do your pictures. Like if I hold this down long enough, it's going to change. I'm going to reset this here real quick. I want to reset this to picture because I don't want this taking a bunch of video. So let me set this here to photo. So I got my camera set to photo. And now when I push this trigger down here, the trigger button here, it depresses, oops, depresses it for too long. I don't want to depress it that long. Let me go back here. Okay, so I got it set to photo. So I pushed the button down. There we go. It took the picture. It took me for a second because if you press it for too long, on my camera, it changes it over to video, and I want to do that. So I can just hold on to this and I can press this button, and every time I press the button, it's going to take a new picture. So you can see that. You can see the camera changing, and it's just this button here. Now, the reason I like this is because it's one-handed. I only need one hand to hold my camera and to take the picture. With the other floating handle we have, the camera sits right here. So I have to hold it with one hand and take the picture with the other hand. And the same thing with the other pistol grip we have. I have to hold it with one hand and take the picture with the other hand. This one here allows me to do everything just one-handed. And I can do it either-handed. It is so much easier. It does have this. I did not put this in, but as you can see right here, those line up, and you screw this in, and it will hold your camera tight. I just didn't put it in for the purpose of doing this video because I'm just going to take it back out. The only thing I don't like with this set, that I have not had this issue with other ones, is that this comes apart. I'm sure the other ones are made to come apart too, but I've never had one come apart on me. They just stay in tight like this, and then you screw this in through here to hold your camera tight. Now this does look like it has another option if you take this apart. If you don't want the pistol grip and all you want is just the floating piece, oops, I'm sorry, it does come with this screw-on piece here, and this will screw on. Get it going there. This will screw on here, and now you have just a floating handle. But again, you're going to have to hold it with one hand and take your picture with the other hand. So I prefer to have the pistol grip part on there because I only have to do it with one hand. And then this here does unscrew at the bottom, and it is hollow inside, so you could put something in there if you wanted to, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly what you'd put in there, but if you were diving or at the beach or whatever and wanted to store something in there, you have that option. So it's actually got a third use at the bottom, and it seals up. I mean, you can see on the bottom here, there is a piece of rubber right here that seals that up pretty watertight so that no water is getting in there. So that might be good for other items you have when you're out. And then I do see here it's got a screw here on the bottom. So if you had an extra accessory for whatever reason, you could put something else down there. I mean, it's got the places for it and everything. I'm not sure exactly what you would put down there, but I guess you could put your camera down there. Since I keep taking pictures of it. I mean, something will screw in down here. So that's another option you have depending on how you're holding it. This one here definitely does need to be screwed in. It's not tight. So, I'm sorry, I keep moving the camera there. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here just for the fun of it. Just so you can see. I think I put it on. Oh, maybe I didn't put it on here backwards. Maybe I did. But you can put another item down here. I guess that one would be facing more towards the way I put it on here. Oh, I guess it faces out. There you go. So you could put a second camera on there if you wanted a second camera on for whatever reason. And then you would have your handle up here. Maybe if you wanted to do a camera for pictures and a camera for video, if you had two cameras, that would actually be a pretty cool idea. You could put one camera down here that you're going to screw on tight for video. So while you're out scuba diving or whatever. Mine obviously is not screwed on tight, you can see that. And then you could stick another camera up here for your pictures and still have your pistol grip to take your pictures with. As you can see, when there's nothing on there, I push it forward, it lifts that button up, and you pull it back and it puts it down. That's how it works on your thing. It's a pretty cool tool overall. I like it. It does come with this wrist strap here, so you can put the wrist strap on it and be able to hold on to it, hook it to your wrist better. Overall, I like this. I probably like this better than the other pistol grip and the other floating tool that we have. The other floating tool we have does not open at the bottom to put anything in. It is just, if I see if I can find it here in my case and I can show it to you. It is just a yellow floating bobber. The only thing better about the other one, and I guess it's not in here. Oh, here it is. The only thing better about the other one is the whole thing is bright yellow, so you can see it. But here is our other floating bobber compared to this one here. This one here is definitely better. This one's got a rubber on it here, so even when it's wet, it's going to be easy to grasp and hold. This one here is just all solid plastic. Like I was showing you, you would have to put your camera on here, hold it with one hand, and take a picture with the other hand. There's no way to do this one one-handed, so you do need both hands to use this. It also came with a strap. Like this one here came with a neoprene strap. This one here came with a cloth strap. This is by far the better item of the two. I was looking, and I'm going to show you our other pistol grip that we have just so you can compare. This is another pistol grip we had received. This one here is kind of cool because it has the thumb marks in it, so it does hold on like a pistol, and you can turn the camera with this one. With this one you cannot turn the camera. With this one you can turn the camera. But again, this one here does not float and is all black, so if you were to drop this in the water, your camera's just gone, unless you're diving and you can see it and get it before it floats to the bottom where you can no longer get it. So this one here is good for some things, but again, you have to have two hands to use it. This one here, everything's one-handed, as you can see. This one takes a minute to get on there. Or a second, or a few seconds really, to get on there, to get it on right, because it does have a small area. As you can see, I'm having a hard time getting it back on there again. There we go. Because it does have a small area of which to use it. But if you want something one-handed, that's going to give you a pistol grip, and is going to float, this is definitely the item to purchase. This is by far a better item than the other ones. Plus, like I said, you could store something in here. Your keys, money if you needed money for something, although I don't know what you would need money for while you're out diving or on a boat, unless you're going to go to a restaurant along the river somewhere, which is always possible. So you could store stuff in there. You've got your handle, it floats, it's one-handed. Much easier than trying to do everything with two hands. It gives you your other hand to do whatever you need to do. Overall, it's a cool item. I really like it, and I would definitely recommend it.